Our next speaker right now will feature is the Colorado known and also in the country known Dr. Bob Melamide. He's a study of life. The study of life, and he has some words to tell you from Seed Boulder all the way. Dr. Bob Melamide.
Dr. Bob!
It's unfortunate that we have to be here for Marc Emery. I met Marc a number of years ago up in Canada when he brought me up to give a talk about some cannabis-related stuff. And I can tell you he's 100% devoted to the cause. This guy made millions selling seeds in the mail to the U.S. He started the whole movement, Overgrow the Government. How perfect that is, right? And eventually the fascists came down on him and wanted to put him in jail for the rest of his life. He wound up taking a plea to free some of his co-defendants who were also implicated, Rene Bonget, and I forgot who the other person was. But in any event, all that money he made, he plowed back into the movement. It wasn't like him sitting back and living a life of luxury. He was constantly devoted, spent that money to make this movement happen. He's been a tremendous help, and we all owe him a real debt of gratitude. So, putting that aside now, since I am a pathological scientist, I got to ask you some science questions here. We're going to do a little survey. I want to know how many people here like to get high. Oh, it's going to be 4:20 in 1 minute. Well, now I got another. This is the other part of that question. How many people here like to get less high than they normally are? Nobody, right? You like to get less high than you normally are? No. Most people like to get higher than they are. And how many people like to get too high? A lot less than like to get high, because when you get too high you get uncomfortable, and when you get less high you also get uncomfortable. So it's like you got a thermostat, and your thermostat is set by your biology, but you need to turn that thermostat up a little. That's what getting high is, and that's what's good for you. And now it's 4:20, okay. But it's actually healthy for us to get a little higher than we normally are. And because we all make marijuana-like compounds, some of us are naturally higher than other people. All right? And it turns out, and we don't have time to go into the logic for this now, but it turns out with my understanding of science, the people who run the country are less high than we are.
Damn right.
And they don't understand the benefit of getting higher. And I'm not talking about getting too high. We're not talking about becoming like a dope fiend, like the coke nut, or the guy who's trying not to get sick because he's a junkie. We're talking about actually feeling better. Cannabis is a euphoric. It makes you feel better. Not just because your brain feels better, your whole body feels better. It's an anti-aging drug. And in order for us to age more healthy in today's world where we're living longer, we need to turn up that cannabis activity in our body. And we can't do it genetically, because it takes too long for things to change genetically. The only way we can do it is by consuming more cannabis. And in my opinion, as a scientist, I can tell you that I believe cannabis is a necessary nutrient. It's a necessary nutrient because we all need to turn up that thermostat just a little bit. We don't need to make it so that we can't move, but we need it to turn up our brain so that we think better, so that we feel music better, so that we cooperate with one another better, and so that we essentially are healthier. It's an anti-aging drug. Can you imagine that we have a government that has outlawed a drug that prevents age-related illnesses, like autoimmune diseases, like Alzheimer's disease, like cardiovascular disease, the leading killer in this country? Cannabis, by turning up your endocannabinoid system just a little bit, inhibits that. So you don't get hardened arteries. It minimizes all of these problems. The fact that our government has made this illegal is 100% proof in my mind that our government is completely incompetent.
Yeah!
They cannot read the thousands of articles that tell them why cannabis is good for you and why we need a little bit more of it. They don't understand that it's been used for thousands of years for the very same things that people are using it for today. They don't understand that there are thousands of articles that describe that. We, the people, must demand our right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. When you get your ass in gear and you become activists and you fight for your freedom, because these cannabinoid defective people that run the world and in particular run our country, they are not helping you, they are hurting you. Last year they arrested 840,000 Americans for cannabis-related crimes.
Bullshit.
The crime is in the people who made those laws. The crime is in the people who enforce those laws. It's time for us to change those laws, and we're only going to do it when we unite and when we fight for our freedom. Thank you.